Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. Okay, so what if I told you that appreciation is key in your journey? Now, just hear me out for a second. Just hear me out for a second. And I don't mean people appreciating you, that's part of it, but that's not the biggest part of it. There is appreciation, appreciate yourself, yes, but appreciate those that are helping you along your journey. Now, if you sit here and you just thought or you just said, no one's helping me along my journey, I don't have anybody to talk to, do you know that if you said that to somebody, if you've literally looked somebody in the face and said, I have nobody to talk to, especially if they said, you can talk to me, you just kind of slapped them in the face. If you scream at somebody in the moment of anger or passion, I don't have anybody to talk to, the person who you're saying that to is the person to talk to. Appreciate the people that are put into your pathway for a reason. And it's not, I used to think that appreciation was, gifts and money. That's, everybody doesn't want gifts and money. That's not everybody's love language. Their five love language. Do your research, look that up. But everybody's got one. And because I didn't know how to appreciate not knowing that I was giving appreciation. I don't know if that makes sense. How can I word this, Spirit? There's always going to be somebody, even at your lowliest moments, that is there for you. And it may not be the person you think, or it may be the person that you're thinking, but there's always one person, at least one person, that cares for you. That no matter what's going on, they're willing to talk to you. And sometimes it is a stranger. I'm not even gonna flex. Sometimes it is a stranger. Because sometimes you need a stranger to talk to about what's going on, because the people who you do have around you, small group or large group, the people who you do have around you, you feel like you can't talk to about what's going on without being judged. That person, those people who have taken a little bit of their time, a little bit of their money to buy you something to eat, some clothes, whatever the spectrum is, who took that time to listen to you, to just sit there with you, to talk to you, to give you some kind of knowledge, to teach you something along this journey that was an aha moment for you. Appreciate them. Did they make you laugh? Appreciate them. And it doesn't have to be money. As I mentioned, I used to think appreciation was money, and that was something that I didn't have a lot of at one point. Not that I'm rolling in dough now, but I promise you, I'm not where I was. And I was always taught to say, please and thank you, manners. And I started just one day saying, I appreciate you. Not I appreciate it. Oh, I appreciate it. No. I appreciate you. The first time I said it, I got a look, and it was like, okay. And then I realized how valuable appreciation truly is. And you can give someone gifts to show that you appreciate them, which is always fine and good. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Everybody loves a gift of appreciation. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Everybody does. Whether you want to admit it or not, just a token of your appreciation, a token of my appreciation. I just want to give you a token of my appreciation. And that's usually a gift. You hear that all the time. You've heard that somewhere. But when you let people know and understand, when I tell people I appreciate you, I can give them a reason as to how come I can appreciate them that is from the depth of in me, and I mean every word of it. Because I realize that currency just isn't money. It's the frequency you're creating with what you do. And appreciation, really appreciating somebody and what they're doing for you, what they're giving to you, you're making spiritual deposits into your spiritual bank. But see, this is an extra though. These spiritual deposits aren't just for you. You're making them for them too. They've given you something that was just they've given you something that may have just even been the brick along the road that you needed to get by. They could have given you the plank along the bridge over that raging river below, and they gave you that plank so that way you can make it to the other side of whatever you had going on. And it could have been a stranger. It could have been a friend. It could have been family. However it is that somebody has given something to you genuinely, or if for me, if I feel it genuinely, and I'll give an example here in a minute, you need to let these people know. Saying you appreciate, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. But, and to give an example on something I was just referring to, when I go to the grocery store, when I go to Smith's sometimes, or I go across the street here to Albertsons, and I got a lot of stuff, or it's like a busy season, they'll have people bagging your stuff. Now, everybody sees, you go through the checkout line, you got whoever it is checking you out, and then you got whoever it is bagging your stuff. And you hear people all the time say, I appreciate it, I appreciate it, I appreciate it. So one day, I said, I really appreciate you ringing me up. I really appreciate you. I know it's your job, but I really appreciate you ringing me up today. Thank you. I saw the look on her face change. Because even though she was doing her job and I appreciated it, yes, I appreciated the fact that she was doing her job. But see, I appreciated her for showing up. I appreciated her for whatever it was she was going through not affecting her ability to do her job. See, when you appreciate somebody, make it mean something. I've looked at a bagger, and I mention this because, they're baggers, they're getting carts and stuff. And I'll say, I appreciate you. Because it's shit. You're making it do what it do. I appreciate you doing your job well. And let me tell you something funny. They could not be doing their job well. But see, I'm making my appreciation mean something. Because even though they may not be doing their job well, it doesn't mean that they're incapable of doing their job well. What I'm telling them when I say I appreciate you is I appreciate the fact that you showed up today. And even though you're going through something and however you're feeling right now isn't making you the best employee at your job, I appreciate you for coming over here and doing this for me. Thank you. It's not just the words, it's what's underlying in that. Just like when someone gives you a true gift of appreciation, it's not just the gift they give you, but it's what's underlying in that. That's why it means something to you. Because it gives you a different energy. It gives you a different frequency. Because they've given you something to show their token of appreciation to you. They've made a deposit into your spiritual bank because that means you've done something right in the spirit that you were supposed to do. And sometimes people have given their last to show appreciation for what they're doing. The information that they're getting, that sense of peace that they're feeling, that tingling in their body that they're feeling that's making them feel good. People will give their last. And that appreciation is felt in energy and it comes back to you. And I tell you that because I know that to be true. Because I've done it. I've done it. I've done it. I literally had like $6 and some change left. And I was feeling so good. And just something told me this was the rest of my money until I got paid in like 4 or 5 days. Like, you know what I mean? And what I did was I gave it to the penny because I was showing appreciation. Because I couldn't physically have her hear me, or, you know what I'm saying, and me say, I appreciate you. So I was able to just send money. And even though I didn't think that it was much, because it was all I had down to the penny, it was the power of how I sent it that made it more. The person I sent it to appreciated it, understood where it was coming from. It wasn't just money. It was a deposit, right? I mean, my last penny. And it wasn't like I had food at my house to eat. Like, I had a couple packs of oodles and noodles, you know what I'm saying? I sent her this money. She understood the frequency it was coming from. Matched and superseded that energy. Because at the time, I was still growing in my journey, nowhere near where I am now. But the universe saw it. Spirit saw it. And I received a blessing back. I had a friend of mine from college just cash at me $150. I'm like, and it wasn't even somebody I had talked to all the time. That was the crazy thing about it. Or was it crazy? Wasn't even somebody I talked to all the time from when I was in college. And it had been every bit of like 10 plus years. And it wasn't like I had just seen him recently when I was in the area that he lives in. But all of a sudden, my Cash App goes off. I got $150 and I'm looking. I'm like, why am I getting this? And the reason it gave was just because. If I'm not mistaken, that's the reason. It was because it was for no reason. When you understand that you are never alone in your journey, there are people assigned to you. Yes, Spirit said that's the right word. There are people assigned to you that are to help you along the way. Appreciate these people. And when you can, let that appreciation overflow so you can appreciate people in just sheer strangers for no reason at all. The man or woman ringing you out. The person taking your money at the gas station. But be genuine when you say it. Intention. And if you listen to yourself, and it's going to sound so funny, but if you listen to yourself, you're going to know what it means. I don't tell every single person who rings me out, I appreciate you. Spirit tells me who to tell this to. Spirit tells me who to tell this to. Spirit tells me who to tell this to. Because there's a moment in everybody's life where you are supposed to show up, when you show up, how you show up. Just like there's moments in your life where people show up, how they show up, and what they show up doing and being. You ever heard people say, people are in your life for reasons or seasons, right? Think about that. When you can appreciate, truly appreciate those that are along your journey, you'll realize that you're never alone. And when you tell these people, I appreciate you, there's something that happens in you too. There's something that happens in you too. I hear it all the time. Wow, thank you. No one's told me that today. Wow, thanks. It's nice to be appreciated. Those who give their time, give their money, give their resources, give their ear, give their shoulder for your tears, give their feet to walk beside you in silence. Appreciate these people because they're all giving you something along your journey. You're never alone along your journey. Ever. Despite what you may think, how you think that you may feel, you never are alone along your journey. And if you don't believe that, tell yourself that. Tell yourself that. And I'm dead ass serious. I mean, literally open your mouth and say that I'm not alone in this journey. And when you'll start to realize that, when you realize that you're not alone in this journey, despite that you may think first of all, you're changing your subconscious thinking. You're letting yourself know you're really not alone in this journey. There are people here to help you. You need to let down the blockage if you think that you are alone in this journey. Because when you let down that blockage, you will really see the people who are really there in different avenues, that they are there for you. As you're they're like little cul-de-sac cutoffs along your journey. And instead of just roads deviating off into who knows where, they're little cul-de-sacs along your journey. These are openings and ways that you need to go down, because you're about to get something that you can come back out with and keep going along your journey. It's like you're picking up pieces. It's like you're picking up Lego pieces to build the house. You know what I'm saying? It's spiritual deposits. It's deposits. And you please don't think that you have to have money to appreciate someone close to you or who has means something to you. Like I said, money is good. If you can appreciate, if you can buy a gift, it's good, but it's not mandatory. Let people know, and there's different ways you can let people know that they are appreciated. But if you say that you appreciate it, know that is different than saying, I appreciate you. Because you'd be surprised at how many people say they appreciate you back and tell you how they appreciate you. And you'd be surprised at the things that you hear people say. Some of the things I was hearing people say back to me when I first started doing this, I was like, oh, I didn't even know that I had helped. You're welcome. You would be surprised. These are things that'll help you along your journey. Little steps that'll get you up. Little ways that'll keep you moving. Because a cul-de-sac isn't a total veer off into God knows what and who knows where. A cul-de-sac turns you back out onto the path that you were once on. Appreciation is a form of growth. It's a form of growth. Because in your appreciation, you will eventually learn how to appreciate those lessons that were hard for you to learn along the way. That's a totally different conversation for a totally different time. Spirit just gave that to me. I'll revisit that later. I'll have to listen to this later. But that was good, Spirit. I'm not even going to remember that. I'll listen to this later. Spirit did that to me on purpose. Family, I love you. Thank you so much for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following. Thank you for sharing. Because this may not be for you, but I promise this is for somebody you know, or else you wouldn't be listening to it. Thank you so much. Love you, folks. Peace.